So we got BTC just chilling for us. We got BTC dominance dropping for us. We've got ETH looking strong, but Sol is starting to wake up now. There's a lot of action at the moment. Then today I'm bringing you 3 coins that are going to break all-time highs imminently. Some of them might have already. I've got some targets for you on where these things are going to go. Then we're looking at Rune, we're looking at Phantom, and I've got some AI scalper setups for you guys, just in case we're going to stay bullish on AI. We're going to grab some entries, guys. So we've got so much happening here. Let's get right into this. Eventually. Let's I'm just pulling up this ETH chart because it's just like an absolute god candle at the moment, and it's holding so nicely. But what I'm really enjoying at the moment is the fact that Solana has woken up. We spoke about a sell wall from the FTX guys at 140 for Sol, and that was a big rejection for us the other day. And now we've had Sol crack those levels. And my question I'm asking here, and I have asked you guys in the chat, so let me know what you guys are thinking at the moment. What is going to outperform in the next week or the next 2 weeks? Is it going to be Sol or is it going to be ETH? So let me know in the chats what you guys are thinking. There is a poll running right now. I'm just keen to get your thoughts on the situation here with ETH versus Sol. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that as well. I've got so much for you guys here, but let's look at the boring ranging BTC at the moment. It's what a treat that BTC is just so chilled at the moment, not causing us too much stress. We got dominance dropping, altcoins are moving nicely. We're feeling good again. We're feeling green. Don't take us back to Goblin Town. We didn't enjoy it. We just want to chill. We want to have fun. And right now, BTC on the 2 hour that I'm watching, we got a little trend break. So this was this little fun line that I drew out for you guys yesterday. And we're putting pressure on it already. So we've now cracked the little fun line. So let's watch this current region right now. Let's watch 66,480. Let's watch this level as our retest zone, as our support area right now. If we hold this area, then we're going to start churning up, I would say. Our target's going to be the 69K again. Then anything can happen after that. I mean, we might get some fireworks, but right now, upside target 69K. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. So 69K is where we want to be. Support we're watching right now is going to be a retest of this trend and horizontals here. So call it 66,400 at the lowest. And then lower down, we got the 382 again, 64,500. That's a big area for us now. That is a big marker that we want to watch. And then deeper, if we want to go dark, 62,400. Those are our main areas we need to pay attention to today. I don't want to hear lower. It's not allowed to go lower. In fact, we just need to ban that entire situation. Okay, and then look at this. Some of the oldies. The oldies are here. They want to put, they're adding Bitcoin ETFs to its state retirement portfolios. I mean, my God, things have changed in the last while. That's, they changed slowly and now they're ripping. And, even the oldies are getting involved here in these pension funds and things. And Cathie Wood, again, the last time she sold Coinbase shares, this thing absolutely pumped. And she's now offloaded more. Okay, so they've sold $100 million of Coinbase shares. Is that another pump signal for us? Is that another move coming? I swear the last time she did this, Coinbase absolutely ripped. And then, a little source for the bulls here. This is this funding rate heat map we looked at earlier this week. I'm sure you guys have seen this floating around everywhere. But orange is bad for the bulls. Green is better for the bulls. And you can see things on the right-hand side here. This is where we are currently, nice and green. Light green is nice. Dark green is better. And that basically means things can start churning a little bit for us again, and we can start moving higher. Remember, these orange bands is not what we like. This is where they come and they flush you out. If you get too much thick orange, that's when we need to start taking profits. That's when we need to start being a little bit more cautious. But right now, we got light greens and everywhere. So looking okay, looking relatively bullish. And then the big signal for me is this dominance on the weekly, just respecting, once again, these weekly resistance levels. They work on all charts, all levels. These weeklies are just beautiful on any charts that you get. So definitely, I highly recommend pulling out weekly candles on whatever charts you're playing, whether it's Forex or stocks or whatever. But nice little rejection here on the dominance. So pushing down, we're going to have a little speed bump along the way. We've got the 50-day MA a little bit lower down and the 200-day. But right now, as long as we've got a nice red dominance candle, altcoin traders are going to be happy. We're going to be relaxed. We're going to be chilled. Right, here we are. So people are waking up again to Sol. Now it's unreal. I mean, Sol and Phantom now seem to be the flavor of the month again. People are waking up on Twitter, and it's amazing how these narratives move so quickly. I mean, a while ago nobody wanted to touch Phantom, but we're going to get to Phantom just now. But basically what Andrew Kang is saying here is that because everybody is trading shitcoins and all these things on Solana, they need to hold Sol. They need to buy Sol, and this market starts churning out. And basically, he's saying he's super bullish on Solana at the moment. And then I got a little picture here. Sol versus ETH. When you tee up Solana versus ETH on the daily, we are now putting pressure on a massive area here for us. This is very interesting what's going on here, because we are at a big resistance zone now for Sol versus ETH. So basically it's a competition now. Who's going to go first? Which one is going to be outperforming the next? And right now the bulls for Sol, the Sol bulls, we're just looking for this pop. And the minute we've got some horizontal support here on the 50-day MA and these horizontals and trends, then it's Sol time. Then Sol is going to start cooking for us, and we are looking at 160. Then we are looking at the 180 and the 200 level for Sol. So let's baby steps here. Let's keep our eyes on this. We want that Sol strength now for ETH and against ETH, and maybe that's going to tell us these alts are going to start pumping. Let's see who's in the chat here. Abonay here is requesting something. Let's do it. No, we don't do this enough. It's I mean, Ray likes this bull horn, right? And the whip. We cracked the whip. Yeah, he's wearing his bull hat. So yeah, guys, that's for you. That's for the bulls. You know, that bear market we had, when was it? On Tuesday. It was atrocious. So I'm just glad everything is green again. You know, we're back in the bull market. Lasted a day, but you know, we just dust that off and we carry on. Okay, so Sol versus ETH. Sol versus ETH looking strong, loving that at the moment. Here's our Sol chart from yesterday, and you know, all looking good. So we were looking at the sell wall. Here was the sell wall at 140. These were the big areas, and they first market sold us and killed us, including my trade that I'd been sitting in for a while on Sol. And I told you guys I jumped in again, and fortunately that's going quite nicely now. So here's my trade. Here's my current Sol position on Prime XBT. For those of you guys that want to trade Sol on Prime XBT with me, you can grab the link in the description below under the show. It's actually right here. Let me just show you what it looks like. So under the show doc, you're just going to go under the show, and you're going to see my entire shopping list here under the document. And Prime XBT are offering a 7% sign-up bonus. They're basically giving you 7% of whatever you put in that you can trade with. Obviously on leverage, it's a leverage platform. So they are offering that for you as a sign-up bonus. So if you put $10,000 in, they're going to give you $700 to trade with. And this is my current position. So I have added a little bit to it, you know, just to grow the size slightly. So we're on 165 sols now, and looking for higher levels. I mean, they must come and kill me now and carry me out on a stretcher again if they really must. But right now, my target is 160. That's where we're going. At 160, we're going to reassess, see if we're TPing, see what the story is. Alternatively, they must come and they must carry me out. And let's see how it goes, guys. So wish me luck on the Sol trade. Hopefully, we're going to get our 160. Okay, let's go. Well, let me show you why it's 160. Very important. I mean, those of you that have been watching, you'll know why. It's the 618 fib. Okay. Now we've already seen. We've seen BTC hit the 618 fib. We've seen ETH hit the 618 fib. So what's everything that's lagging? We got all these layer ones. We got all these things, and Sol is the closest of the lot. So here it goes. This is why I like this 160 region. It's a standard 618 play, a little bit of a lagger, and that's where we want to be. You can see we've just pinged this weekly high here, so we know we've broken a little bit of resistance here, so that's also quite exciting at the moment. So maybe the gates are going to get unlocked. So eyes on Sol. If you're not in Sol, you need to be looking for entries, you know, if we're going to get to this 160. But if you're not in it now, you can see this candle on the 8 hour. It's pretty brutal, and it is pumping quite hard. So you really need to start identifying some supports and things like that. So you guys, I mean, you've watched enough to know what you want to do here, but ultimately you're looking for some fib tie-ins, you're looking for some horizontals and these type of things, and then you're going to get some bullish levels. So I'm going to show you the same strategy on some of these AI tokens that I've got ready for you. Let's just pull up the 236 quickly. Just want to bang a level here for you guys. Okay, there we go. So some bullish areas here for me. Let me clean this up. Bullish levels you want to watch. So bullish pullbacks we're looking at for Sol, areas that it could come easily easily come back and test. 137.4, easily can look at that. I do like 133.5. I do like that. And then I like 130. So these are nice bullish levels. If we're going lower than 130, then, you know, the market's turning on us a bit and we're going to get a bit uncomfortable. But if you play those levels, those pullback zones, it can easily come to these areas and remain bullish. So eyes on those levels for SOL, and see if you can snag yourself a little entry there, and with the upside targets in mind of 160. Okay, big talk today. Rune has come alive again. So we had a Rune trade the other day, and we actually got stopped out on that one, and now Rune is coming back like crazy. So I've got a nice little Rune set up for you guys. And, you know, I mean, you can read the tweets yourself, but basically guys are turning bullish on Rune. And here we are, Rune on the weekly, coming to life for us. We've finally broken this weekly trend from the highs in, when was this, May 21. So Rune has now cracked the highs from May 21. It's looking nice and bullish. Here were the key levels we were looking at previously. Big supports here on the weekly, 5.4. Big support on the weekly for me, 4.7. These are both very strong areas that we got to keep our eyes on. So any major pullbacks, these are big zones. These are potential top-up zones and things like that. If we start losing the 618 on the weekly and things like that, things are turning a little bit bearish and we are going down. But, you know, for me, upside for Rune, we've got a trend break now. We had a fake out previously. This could be the move we are looking for. And upside moves that I want, 38%. And I've got 102% for Rune as two potential targets. Obviously, if things go really well, it can go a lot higher than that. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves ever, but you know, I want to just target this 100% play here at the moment. That seems reasonable. That seems on the cards if things go nice and bullish here for us. So right now, nice little trend break from Rune for the Rune traders. How do you scalp? What do you do? You know, if I'm dialing in now, this is Rune on the 4 hour. How do I get an entry? If I'm buying spot, it's easy. You're buying it on that weekly chart, and you know, you're taking your time, you're relaxing, and things are moving. If you're a leverage trader, well, things are slightly trickier. You know, the upside can obviously be better for you, but things are trickier to get an entry, and sometimes you can get absolutely rinsed. So you need to understand, if you're trading leverage, you're playing in a higher risk environment, you're playing a high risk game, and you just need to understand the parameters. If leverage trading, whatever your leverage is, and if you work out whatever your stop is, you got to times that by your leverage, that percentage. So if you have a 3% stop and you're trading 10x leverage, that's a 30% loss potentially. But the converse is obviously the gains get a little bit stupid on some of these tokens. So here's Rune right now. If you're a scalper and you want to get a piece of this Rune, or you want to just try and snag an entry, what you need to watch is key support levels. You need to have confidence in support areas. You need to trust levels. And, you know, in a bull market, we need to say to ourselves, is our mindset bullish? If so, where's this token going to be pulling back for us where I can remain bullish on it? And then you start looking at key levels and things like that. And, you know, if your thesis is right and your bias plays out for you, then you get the bounce and it carries on. If things turn bearish, well, that's why we use stop losses and things like that. And the first area I want to give you for Rune, if we are going to get this pullback on Rune, is 5.85. So that's a nice little support area for Rune that you can play around with. 5.85. What does that mean? Well, that means it's a potential buy zone for you. If you get a pullback into an area like that, it's a bullish buy zone. And then a little bit lower, you got the 382, which is my favorite fib when things are bullish, 5.65. So these are two potential regions that you could look to grab entries on Rune. If you get some kind of dip, if you get some kind of pullback, that's where you want to be to snag your entry. And the secret with some of these, I'm sure some of you guys have seen my entries on some of my trades and things like that. The secret is when you grab an entry like this, if you are very greedy with your entries as a leverage trader and things start moving in your favor, then you can actually sit on these positions for a very long time, provided they don't come and kill you like they did the other day with Solana. They wiped me out 30%. But if you get the entries right, then you can often sit for a very long time and just till in these positions. So eyes on Rune. If you snag that entry, these are your levels. If you lose these bullish levels, then you need to know you're going down to 618s, you're going a little bit lower, you're going a little bit deeper. So understand your areas, understand your risks as to where you're grabbing these entries and things like that. And then obviously the upside is beautiful when it plays out. You know, it's always fun. Main Mohammed says Sol chart again, please. What do you want to see with the Sol chart again? There's the Sol chart again. Okay, so there's your levels for Sol: 138, 130, 131. That's what you want to be watching for any pullbacks on Sol. Okay, hopefully that helped. Let's see how the poll's going. Let's see how the poll's going here. What are you guys telling me here? 72%. Okay, Sol bulls are in the house. 72%. Well, let's give you that. We'll give you that. We'll give you that. We'll give you that. Okay, so that's my view on Rune. So I'm sitting in a Rune, obviously looking for much bigger things, and you now know the parameters. The spot traders know what they're dealing with, and the scalpers, you know what levels you're playing with. If you're not greedy with your entries and you're trading leverage, then you put yourself at more risk. If it goes against you, then you're putting yourself at risk. That's when you make the losses. So try and be greedy with your entries. Don't be too loose with the leverage trading things. Okay. Phantom, again, popping up all over the internet. Basically what they've done, they've got this thing called, I think it was Sonic or whatever. The fundamental guys understand these things way better than me. But the easiest way to explain this is they're basically an old rusty car, and they've now put a new engine in and polished it up a little bit, maybe buffed things up. So now a new Phantom, basically. And the market's turning bullish. I mean, Mr. Patrick Schmidt, I'm not sure who this is, but he's loving Phantom. No idea why. I mean, nobody loved Phantom during the bear market. We were all very lonely trying to trade Phantom, but here we are. Twitter's woken up, and Phantom is absolutely cooking for us. So if you guys got that Phantom trade that I gave you last week, well, I'm hoping you're still sitting in it. Things are moving nicely, and there still is more upside for Phantom. I'm looking at another 37%. This is Phantom on the weekly. I'm looking at another 30% upside here for Phantom, and big supports. Now, obviously, this thing has started bolting, so it gets trickier. The further you get away on a weekly chart, on a weekly candle, the further you run away, the trickier it is, because you really need to look at these big, solid zones for your solid supports and these big pullbacks. And the best support I can give you now for Phantom on the weekly basis is going to be 70, and it's going to be 61. Call it 0.62. Those are your big areas for the weekly traders. But if the market's going to stay bullish, it's going to take a hell of a lot for Phantom to really start losing that 60 level, the 62 level, and things like that. So if we do get a pullback, well, that's where you're really going to be aping in at something around those levels. But upside, guys, Phantom traders, I'm staying in my position, still chasing 37% here for Phantom. We deal with it when we get up here to the $1 level. When we get to that region, that's where we decide TP time and things like that, especially the spot traders and the longer term traders. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. We got lots of questions here. He's asking about Kenneth's asking about 𝗬𝗢𝗓. Iman says he got Phantom at 20 cents. Wow. Okay, well, that's cooking. Benjamin's in the Phantom from last week. That's good to know. Rich maybe says Phantom's a sleeping giant. I agree. Yes, 𝗪𝗔𝗔𝗓911. When in the Sol ecosystem is pumping madly. Correct. I saw that some when airdrops, and I looked at it today. I was actually quite surprised. This thing is ripping. Always a nice feeling when you pop it open and something you weren't expecting is ripping for you guys. 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗓 says this is the only interactive show on the planet, guys. Revved up a biker, Fetch. Yes, I've got Fetch and I've got ICP for you, Duke Nukem. I love that game, Duke Nukem 3D. Okay, I've got ICP and I've got Fetch for you guys. I want to give you guys some bullish areas that you can look for when you're trading these AI tokens. So we spoke about this yesterday. They absolutely ripped. I hope all of you made tons of money. If you did, I'm super happy for you guys. And now, if you didn't get those trades, now you need to look and you need to start being greedy with some entries. If we are biased on AI and things like that, then we need to start finding areas where we can jump into these AI tokens for the ride. We know the NVIDIA conference is coming up in a week or two, and things are potentially going to be bullish leading into that, and maybe shortly during or just after that we could still have some pumpage. So eyes on levels that I'm watching. How do I go about it? How do I scalp once I've got a pump? Once I've missed my best entry. Now, guys, remember, I say this all the time. For those that are new here, the best entries are always the ones where we're feeling bearish. If you're pitching up on days when the candles are green or after a pump, you've missed the best entries. The best entries are you need to come to me when we've been wrecked, when we've been smashed. That's where we get our entries, where we get them deep down and dirty, when we're hating crypto, when you're hating life. These are the places where you get your best entries. Once you get the pump and you break these horizontals, you're now looking at secondary entries. Okay, so secondary entries, obviously, they still work. Sometimes we get 2, 3 in a row before things start really turning over. And now we're working on secondary and third type entries at the moment. So how do I go about that? Well, typically you start looking for these pullbacks. You want to start buying pullback areas that you think are going to be bullish. So you identify bullish zones. How do I do that? I use fibs. Okay, and often they tell you a story, and often they tie in, and often they work. And I mean, if you guys have watched this long enough, you will see so many trades react so nicely off these fibs. So the first thing you're going to do, and you can apply this to all your tokens, you're going to pull from the low to the high of the move that you've just watched. And then you're going to identify the main fibs, 236, 382, 618. Those are the main bullish fibs that you're going to get if things are ripping. And if you're trying to snag entries, you want to look for moves onto these fibs. Okay, so I've identified them for you. My personal favorite one is a 382, especially when it ties in with horizontal. So you'll see this 382 is not tying in with horizontal, so it's a little bit concerning for me because that is my best looking area. So let me give you some areas here. The first one that we're going to watch, render 9.27. Okay, that's a potential bounce zone. Okay, but this is now incredibly bullish, and generally it's not sustainable. Okay, these 236s, they at some point they just start toppling over. So this is why I love the 382. So your next one, 8.64, that's where you want to watch. And then lower down, you're going to look at the horizontal 8.2. That is your next area. So these are all bullish areas for render. So if it starts pulling back for you guys, look for little buys in these areas. That's where you can start scalping. And the plan is always, when we do have a pullback, at some point it bounces at one of these horizontals. Well, they often react at all of the horizontals, but you sometimes get a picture along these lines. So that's why you try and nibble at these lows, because at some point that is your position that actually tees you up for that trend break. And then once you get that move, then you get the trend break, and then you can start adding and doing all sorts of fun things. So always watch these key levels. So right now, watch this 236 fib, it's 9.3, watch 8.65, watch 8.2. These are your big areas for render. And remember, we're at all-time highs here. No, we're not at all-time highs, but no, we are. We're at all-time highs for render. And, you know, the sky is the limit at the moment. So you want to be snagging entries, especially if AI tokens are running bullish at the moment. Okay, here's another one, AGIX. We looked at this one yesterday. I think yesterday we were talking and it was floating sort of in this region. So we've had a nice little AGIX move for you guys, and very typical. Look at it. It's behaving the same as render at the moment. We've got a 236 bounce. It's telling us these things are super bullish at the moment, and they're trying to react at the most bullish fib. It's the 236. So again, same story. What you want to do is eventually you're going to get a trend forming here, but you want to nibble at some of these areas. I'm loving this 382 here and horizontal for AGIX. So my best area here, 1.025. If we get a dip into this 1.025 region, that is a nice little juicy buy zone for me. Scalpers, you can play around on these 236s, but after a big move like this, it's perfectly normal, perfectly acceptable for some of these tokens to now drift lower and just reset a little bit, just calm down. You can see we've had a 92% pump on AGIX. So for AGIX to reverse 20 or 30%, it's perfectly acceptable here. So that is why I like this 382 the most, 1.025. If you can snag an entry there, and then if they do come with some kind of flush, that's going to be a lovely bounce zone down here, 0.88. So any one of these zones is a potential bullish zone for you guys for the next push, for the next move up. And just be patient. You can nibble at these areas and see how you go. So that is the same basis that we caught this Ocean trade yesterday. So those of you might remember, this was Ocean. We caught this one exactly the same way. We had a pump up, it came back down. This was a 382 fib at the time. It pinged the 382 fib, and then we absolutely sent this thing. So that is what we're looking for now on phase number 2 for all of these tokens. And right now you can see Ocean again copying the other tokens right now on the 1 hour, 236 bounce. So we got our eyes on this one. And another way you can play this, you can see a nice juicy trend drifting down here, and you can nibble at these supports. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hourly candles sitting on this 236 fib at the moment. And let's see if we get the pop, then you know it's on. Then you know there's a move coming. If we start seeing a little bit of weakness, get ready for buys at the 382 fib. This is 1.06. Okay, so your areas now for Ocean, 1.129, 1.06, both of these. on nice little bullish areas here if you want to grab some buys for Ocean. And then we've got some big upsides coming. You know, these things, a lot of them are at price discovery. And a lot of them have some major targets. So Ocean, the next level for Ocean, for example, what we can be watching is going to be these two candles up here. So round about 1.36. Nice little juicy 1.36 for Ocean on the way. Ray, what's going on there, bro? Where's your goggles today? Where's the goggles? Oh, they're here. They're here. Okay, just checking, just making sure. Okay, so, you know, I mean, all this AI talk, Ray needs to wear his goggles. Right, this is the first token that I wanted to tell you guys today about now. Tokens breaking all-time highs. We're going to be in price discovery, and here we go. It's Tao, number one, that I'm looking at today. So this is 𝗪𝗔𝗫𝗫, and it's broken all-time highs this afternoon. So we looked at this one yesterday with the AI bullishness. I gave you guys these entry levels here that we were watching yesterday on the show. So this 690 level, they came in, pinged it so nicely, and we've just cracked our all-time highs. So what do we do now? How do we understand where it's going to go? Well, what we can do is we can guess. So we finally got our targets locked in. The first one I'm watching is going to be a 1.618 fib. So my first target for 𝗪𝗔𝗫𝗫 right now is 800. Okay, maybe 799 to be safe. We're looking at about 799, and then my next target is 950. Now things are going to have to turn super bullish there, but I wouldn't rule that out. We've now broken all-time highs, and anything now is possible for Tao. So keep your eyes on these levels. Support you want to watch 690. That's your main marker zone now. That is your area. And once we drift a little bit higher, if we start pushing a little bit higher, when we do eventually get our pullback, we're going to look at some kind of support retest, and it's most likely going to be at around about the 740 region, that sort of area. So that's going to be our next support level in line that we're going to be watching on Tao. So things are looking very good. And how do you get the targets when things are in price discovery? So for those of you that haven't seen this before, how do we estimate? How do we guesstimate? Well, believe it or not, this stuff looks very odd when people just draw random fib numbers, but the shit totally works. And you've seen it on so many charts. So that's why we play this game. And how do I go about it? Well, I'm basically going to pull a fib from a high to a low. So I'm going to take my fib and I'm going to pull it from this high over here. So for this example, I'm pulling it on the 15th of February high, and then I'm taking it to the lows on the 24th of February. And that gives me a fib extension. That's the 1.618 and the 2.618. And they then give me potential targets for these tokens to hit, and try it, back test it on various tokens. You're going to see this stuff absolutely works. Okay, next one. This is my favorite one. I think Injective is going to be an absolute banger. We've got guys talking Injective to 100. We know. We got guys saying Injective 150, all these types of things. And, you know, right now, Injective has just been ranging. It's actually been pretty boring compared to a lot of these other alts since December, since we actually pinged this. When was this? Christmas Day. Yes, all these altcoins. I remember this story. Who remembers this? Christmas Day, we all felt so happy. We all felt so rich because they pinged us at these highs. All these altcoins hit their tops on Christmas Day, and then they just absolutely ruined us. Boxing Day was literally Boxing Day. They absolutely smashed us. And, you know, we've been in this range now since then and looking for bigger things. So targets and things like that for Injective, what do I want to do? Well, firstly, I'm looking for it to break this range high. And I think once it does, this thing is going to start motoring for us. So what am I looking at right now? I'm going to pull a fib from that high, the range high to the low. Okay, then I'm going to put in the fib extension. That's the 1.618 and the 2.618. So let me just add that quickly. Here we go, 1.618, 2.618, and it gives us some short-term targets that we can look at. So if we're setting up trades and we're planning our trades and we want to know where do we exit, where do we take profit, these are areas of interest for us. So the first one, 53.5, loving that. And the second one is 68. So these are 1.618 and 2.618 fibs. Those are nice little levels you can play with. And how do we get there? So if you are trading Injective right now and you've got a lower entry, then you are good. You are cooking. Support you need to watch right now if you are currently in an Injective position. Your main support is 37, and a little bit higher up you can see we've had the trend break, and we've got a retest zone. So it's going to be, let's actually just confirm these fibs. Okay, support you're going to watch 41.9, 40, 41.9 and 40. These are your main supports you're going to watch right now. And what are we looking for? So the bulls, you can see what I've drawn there, a nice little picture. We are looking for a clean break now. We really need to push. We've tested this high multiple times. We've been rejected multiple times. What we want to see now as bulls is a nice clean break. Okay, we know we've got shorters and stop losses and all these things up here. We want to force this breakthrough. We want to squeeze it up a little bit. And the real buy for us is going to be when we drop back and we get that little retest on this major support. Now, this is major resistance now for Injective, as you can see. So once we flip it, it becomes major support for us. And that becomes almost our T box for the next move. So that's where we can load up and really send it higher. So once we get that break, the exciting thing is we just wait for this little pullback and we can load up on Injective with confidence. And if the market stays bullish, that is a weekly support that we're going to have that should hold for us. And you've seen how strong these weeklies are for us. Sure, I'm rattling off a lot. I'm talking a lot here. Ray, am I talking a lot? Am I talking fast? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
No, you're killing it. They just need to stop spamming comments and smash the like.
Smash, guys. Yes, thank you, Uncle Ray. Delivering again. Listen, guys, if you like the content and you're enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell, because that's the notification. And then you can get notified when we go live. And a little secret, I'm going to start doing Sunday shows as well. I'm going to start doing weekend shows for you guys. And you're going to know if you hit that bell button, then you're going to know when I'm starting to go live. And we're going to do like a weekend breakdown, basically. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into those for you as well. Okay. Let's see what else is going on in the chats here. Let's see. Danish says, ARB only after the Denken update. Good stuff, bro. I reckon Afghan. I don't know what that means. Let's see what else we got. Onka's looking for TIA. Who says this shit totally works. It does totally work. Arvin Singh says Matic. Well, yeah, Matic's at a nice resistance zone, trend resistance and horizontal resistance. So Matic, big things building for Matic. I think there's a 35% upside on Matic that we are looking at the moment, but we got to crack that resistance first. Let's see what else we got. James says raise on the split. Benjamin says don't work too hard. Scott Days likes AVAX. I like AVAX. I love AVAX, actually. Looking good on the weekly. I have shown you guys this one before. Okay, let's see. Okay, lots of AI questions. Bruce says all my goodies are in the Sniper Club. Well, he's not wrong. They're all in the Sniper Club. All of my goodies. Okay, now I've got a small cap banger for you guys. Okay, breaking all-time highs right now. Real world assets narrative. Okay, small cap, but this could be a player for us. Okay, this is called Relio Network, RIO, market cap 6.5 million. And what did I pick up today? Well, it's just smashed all-time highs. Okay, and it's been trading to perfection. I mean, look how it's respecting these levels. And I wanted to use this one as an example for you as to what I want to see on Injective. Okay, so in Injective, for example, you saw a picture like this. Injective in a massive range. Okay, from December, Injective's range. This one also similar range. Okay, what happens when we blow a major consolidation area or accumulation area or whatever you want to call it? What happens when we blow that zone? Well, look what's gone on here. It's popped. Okay, they've come back, they've tested it multiple times, confirmed it as support. Okay, so an old weekly resistance came back, tested it as support, and then they've sent it up again. Okay, and I'm pretty confident there's FIDs involved in all of this shit too. But here we are. So RIO has now broken the range of its last or latest consolidation on the 8 hours. Okay, so it's been in this range since 14th of February, since Valentine's Day. And here we are. We've now cracked through. So what are the bulls looking for? Again, very simple play here. So we just want to confirm this support is going to hold. And, you know, if you can see the picture before you as to what's happened, it would be reasonable to expect the support to hold on any pullback. So if we do get a little push higher and they want to send us down, we're going to be looking for this support region here as a potential buy zone for us. So that is what we're going to target for the bulls. And if you are in this one already, or are you involved in this one, your support you're watching now, 0.938. That's a nice juicy support zone for you for Relio. And upside targets, what have we got? Very simple here. We're looking at 1.03, and then I've got the 2 0.618 fib, we're looking at 1.36. So there's nice potential upside here that could happen quite quickly. Let's just look at the size of this move. Yeah, a little 45% is the nice 2.618 fib, and a little 10% move to the 1.618, which is, yeah, it's just around the corner. So there's a little banger for you guys. If this thing gets some traction, I think you guys are going to do well. What is Rudy asking here? Rudy, what's going on here, bro? What have I missed here? What have I missed? Okay, let's see. What else have I got for you? I've got, let's look at Pyth. Okay. So you guys know the staking narrative with Pyth and all these things, and it's interesting to me because it started reversing yesterday, and we got a little trend break earlier today. So Sniper Club members got this Pyth signal earlier today for a little long, I'm looking at. And I've put in the same principle, the 1.618, because we're looking for Pyth to start breaking all-time highs again. So 46% move here for me for Pyth is the major upside I'm looking at. How do we get there? Well, we take baby steps, obviously. So right now, Pyth is in our entry box that we are interested in. So 0.67 down to 0.63. That's a nice little hot zone for me. So any weakness on Pyth, I've been looking for buys in this box, and we want to send it higher. So TP1, I'm looking at 73. TP2, we're looking at 82. And why did I like this? So number one, we had the trend break. Okay. Number two, we had a solid bounce off big supports here for us. We had the 786, we had horizontals, we had trend. Okay, loved that, the way it recovered that area. The market is bullish. Obviously, sentiment is bullish. We know Pyth, they're offering staking and all these types of things. So potentially more bullish vibes going in there. And then I picked up something very interesting using 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏. Okay, so those of you also who are new here, I use 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏 a lot as part of my strategy. I try and understand where the pivots are sitting and things like that. And right now you can see 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏, if we zoom in, we are sitting above a monthly and a daily pivot. And I'm going to show you something really cool as to what I'm looking for. So it was a little bit of speculative, but here's the monthly pivot and the daily pivot. Okay, so that tells me as long as we are sitting above this area, or if we've reclaimed it, we are bullish. That can offer some degree of support for us, tied in with horizontals, fibs, and trends and things like that. It gives us extra confluence. But the real kicker for me here, and this is why I wanted to jump into this Pyth, is you can see this tight yellow band here. This is the weekly pivot. And right now we are under the weekly pivot. So technically that is a little bit bearish because we're below the weekly pivot, but you can see how tight this pivot is. So if we get a break of this pivot, it tells me we're going to get some kind of fast or explosive move here, potentially on Pyth. So I'm just looking for this little pop here through this weekly pivot. If we come back and retest this weekly pivot successfully, I think we're going to get a nice strong move here on Pyth. And then this is another one for the traders that are in this one already. Once we blow this weekly pivot, this can also become the basis of our new support and our new stop zone. So if we start losing that weekly pivot, then we can turn a little bit bearish and we can say, okay, fine, we've lost the weekly pivot and we're going to start cutting. So look for this weekly pivot. This is at 0.68. Okay, so we want to blow this weekly pivot. It's so tight. If we crack that one and hold that as support, I think this is going to be an absolute banger for you guys. So right now, Pyth, anywhere in this box that I've given you there with an upside. Look, we're not trying to be too greedy. We're just going for the 618, the 1.618. So we got 46%. But by the time you hit TP1, you want to be de-risking, you want to be lifting stops and all that type of thing. Remember, they can come and flush us whenever they want. So make sure you always have multiple TPs going up. And these areas is where you can take profits, you can raise your stops, you can de-risk and all sorts of things like that. So eyes on Pyth, I'm loving it at the moment. We're sitting in that in Sniper Club and I'm sitting in that one. Okay, ICP update for you guys. Dropped this one in Sniper Club earlier today, and I'm trading this one currently on 2bit. So it's still alive. Okay, here we are. Here's ICP, trading this one on 2bit. Also, KYC friendly exchange for those of you that are interested. And the links in the show description underneath, you will find the 2bit links that take advantage of the special offers that they have going at the moment for you. And also, those interested in 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏, there is an 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏 link here for you guys with an exclusive offer. There's a 3-day trial for you if you want to have a go using 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏, or alternatively, if you want to try 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏, you can join the Sniper Club because Seth from 𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗏 drops easy algo setups in the Sniper Club 2 or 3 times a week. I'm also using it and dropping my setups that I often use easy algo with in Sniper Club. So if you want to test it out, join Sniper Club, see if it's for you. And otherwise, grab easy algo and you take advantage of the 3-day free trial and see if it's going to work for you. Okay, so here's ICP. Rocking it at the moment on 2-bit. So yeah, I've added to my position in this region over here. So you can see we've had a typical 382 pullback onto horizontal here for ICP. So we had a very bullish move the other day, and it was one of Seth's setups. It was off the easy algo setup that we gave on my show. I think it was about a week ago, and we had a very bullish move. I mean, we had a 42% pump there off that pivot that he gave us. 42% pump. Then they killed us. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. They just came and they destroyed us, the next day. And here we are again. So we've reclaimed the 382, we've reclaimed the horizontal, and we've reclaimed the trend. So I've added to my ICP position, and this is how I'm playing it at the moment. So if you are interested in being in ICP, what do you want to do if you're using super high leverage? Well, number one, your first stop zone is loss of 14.3. If you lose that candle, then potentially things are turning bearish. And then your next potential exit zone is loss of 13.6. Okay, so these are the 2 areas that I've been looking at the moment for ICP. For exit zones for myself, and you can see my average entry there's about 13.7. So if we lose that 13.6, then I'm most likely going to start cutting that position. But we do have a little backup. We can keep our eyes on the 618, but it's a deep move, especially if you are trading leverage. This is quite a deep move down to that 618. You're going to feel that burn along the way. So that's why, leverage traders, let's be greedy with our entries. Let's really try and focus on these things. And when you get these nice pullbacks, take advantage of these bullish zones, these tight bullish areas here that you can work with. So let's see if ICP plays out. Same story. If they want to come down and stop me out, then they must. But we're feeling bullish here. And first stop zone 14.3. That's where it is for me. Okay, let's see what else we got. I am Missy Dizzy is very happy about Sol, I see. Rudy's just laughing at shit. Rudy, focus here, bro. We're trading. What are you laughing at here? Okay, let's see what else we got. We got Gala questions. Farah's asking questions about Dime. I do have Dime for you guys. Let's see what else we got. Fetch. Did I not cover Fetch for you guys? Did I really not cover Fetch? Oh, here's Fetch. Okay. Cool. We'll cover Fetch. Okay, so scalper play for you guys. Fetch, as you've seen, Render, AGIX, Ocean, they all look the same right now, okay, which tells us things are super bullish on the AI front at the moment. And 236 bounce again for Fetch. Now, there's a lot of news on Fetch. I had a tweet and all this news for you, but Fetch is now offering staking as well, believe it or not. Surprise, surprise. We're jumping on the train, looking for pumpage. So they've got some kind of $100 million investment, and now we're doing staking and all these things, and everyone must get hyped. And that's basically the narrative at the moment in crypto. So let's watch this 236 fib. Number one, 2.48 is where we want to be. That's support number one. And don't be surprised if they send it lower. Okay, still bullish at 2.26, still bullish. Okay, still bullish at 1.89. This problem is this stuff moved so quickly. So if you didn't snag those entries yesterday when these things were taking off, now you are you're behind the curve here, and you really now need to grab these secondary entries. So these are the best tight areas you'll be looking at. So if you're trading leverage and looking for scalps, these are the zones you start playing around in. And if we do get a push up and a rejection, for example, this is going to be your next zone where you're looking for buys. If we do get another rejection, then that is going to be your next zone that you're looking for buys. And that's how they create these downtrends, and that's how you play the game. And then that becomes your fun line. And when we blow the fun line, we can add to positions. When we blow the fun line, we have fun. That's where we make those exponential gains. When we start, when we grab these little entries on these dips, when we're feeling bearish, and then when you're feeling bullish, you're ahead of the game. We get the trend break and we send this shit. And that's where we make the moves. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh, cat wars. Okay, cat wars. I've been laughing about these cats. Okay, let's first do Dime. Let's see where we are. Okay, so here's Dime from yesterday. I spoke to you guys about Dime. This was also a signal we gave in the Sniper Club yesterday for Dime. Look at this tight weekly pivot. I used my regular TA, my trend break. I had 618s, I had horizontals, and then I banged in easy algo, and here it told me we were above the weekly pivot, and now we are starting to grind slowly higher. We are pushing up, so that weekly pivot there on easy algo 5.86 is now a nice little support region. If you're trading dime, you can lift your stops now, and you're basically risk free. Now the rest is in the crypto gods' hands. Let them send this thing for us. And you heard Chaos yesterday. There's staking coming on dime now, so potentially bullish scenarios. He's talking about 6 airdrops happening on this dime ecosystem or whatever. So yeah, looking bullish at the moment and holding the weekly pivot. So all is well. Here's 𝗪𝗑𝗑𝗪𝗑𝗑. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this one yesterday. This 𝗪𝗑𝗑𝗪𝗑𝗪 games was just looking interesting, or 𝗪𝗑𝗪𝗪, whatever they call it, Heroes of 𝗪𝗑𝗪𝗪. Yeah, right now, so it is grinding a little bit. So yeah, nothing to change there yet. The setup is still the same. Entries down to 5.8, anywhere in that box. 5.8 looks okay, and your stop loss of that 618 for me, it's 5.42, but right now it's above the entry box. So if it gives you a dip into the box, that's where you can look for potential entries. Right now we're not in the entry box, so I advise against jumping into something that's not in the entry box. Okay, let's talk cats. Okay, there's 2 cats right now. It's cat wars basically, and I'm gonna get deep into these cats tomorrow. I'm actually so excited for you guys. I'm bringing on Gustavo. Okay, he's one of the researchers here at Crypto Banter, and he did a show recently on the weekend, and he absolutely exploded on the main channel, and they're just loving him. He's like an absolute DJ, and I've invited him as a guest tomorrow because he's the guy that found this 𝗪𝗑𝗪𝗪. He found Welsh. He found this 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 and all the shit that these insane things, and I'm just excited to get him on here for you guys, and we're going to teach you a bit more about absolute shit coinery and absolute degeneracy that we're going to get going. So I'm looking forward to having him tomorrow. This is 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 again. He's loving his cats, but there's 2 cats right now. There's 2 cats that I'm after. One of them is 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. So this is 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 on the 4 hour, and yesterday we looked at this thing and we actually had a nice little pump. I think yesterday we were looking at these horizontals. We were looking at it right here, something along these lines. And we had that little push up, but now they're trying to hold it now at these levels. So for me, 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, I'm watching these levels, anything from about 4.148 down to about 0.35, looking to buy dips here on 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. I want to send this thing higher. Gustavo is absolutely convinced these things are going higher, but you'll hear more about that tomorrow. And then the other cat that I told you guys about yesterday, 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, okay? And remember, his rule was it's only a great meme token if it's been rugged before, or whatever the story is, and then it gets like cult status and all these types of things. So here's 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. It was on the Luna network or whatever it was, but it was based on this whole Luna project or whatever. So this is 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 on DEX tools. This is the ETH variant of it. Okay, so currently this market cap is slowly growing, and the question is which cat is going to win. And don't start telling me about Taylor Swift's cat as well that has now come into the picture. Maybe he's going to tell us about that one tomorrow. But eyes on this 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. I think it's a mover, and 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 I think is a big mover. And targets, I don't know. Gustavo is telling me $1 billion. So $1 billion market cap. But let's see. Bear markets and bull markets, they do strange things to us. Okay, let's see any quick requests here in the chats that we can look at. I see Maruk says, where do I buy 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪? You can buy 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 on MetaMask, or you can buy it on, I think, Poloniex. I think they're on Poloniex, which is an exchange. Let's see. I want to grab 1 or 2 tokens here out of the chats. Okay. Gillum says link. Let's bang out a link token quickly for you guys. Okay, let's fire up this link. Okay, let's bring this up here. Okay, so yeah, link is looking great on the weekly. It's looking great on the daily. So weekly perspective, I just want you guys to have a look at this, like bigger picture things here on link. Look at what is going on here. There's still a 58% play here for link. Now, mind you, it's been very slow lately, but we've seen link. It acts differently at different times of the market. So often likes to consolidate, and you'll remember what it did during this period. Look at this period of consolidation. While everything else was happening around it, it did pretty much nothing. It just floated around, and we might be in this period again for link. So, I would say if the market stays bullish, upside for link, 28 to 30, 58% coming. but you might sit in this for a while until it starts cracking. So the best way to do this is to keep Link on your watch list. And when it starts cracking these highs at 20.7 to 20.8, that's when you really start to pay attention. Maybe set your alarms on TradingView. And when it starts cracking those levels, it's going to start telling us that we are looking for higher and that these previous resistance zones are then going to become supports for us. So keep your eyes on this. And when it starts cracking these highs, then you can start getting excited. And then there's going to be probably a 30 or 40% move from there available for you guys on Link. Munt says the only cat is Mochi. Yeah, look, it's Cat Wars. So on base, there's Mochi and Toshi as well. Those have also featured on my show. So, you know, maybe there's lots of Cat Wars going on here. Anna says Rose, please. Let's do Rose. Rose looks good on the weekly. Wow. Okay, so we've definitely dealt with this one before. You know, we were looking for what, 100% move, and it's well on its way. So Rose, right now, you can see we've got a little bit of resistance coming up at the moment. So you've got a little bit of an area where you might have a little bit of a fight. So look out at 0.1817. So that could be an area where you're going to have a bit of a problem. Otherwise, you're going to practice the same method that I've shown you now on some of these other altcoins. If you want to dial in, you want to start understanding where can I get entries, where can this thing be bullish for me, you're basically just going to zoom in and you're going to play this game. You're going to bang out trends. Okay, you're going to bang out some trends. You're going to bang out some horizontals. You want to look for levels. You want to look for areas of confluence. Where do these things tie in? Where do we get nice supports? All these types of things. You can draw some trends and yeah, just basically start creating a picture for yourself as to where's this thing going to go? Where's this thing going to bounce? Where are the possible areas? So here we go. Here's a nice little tie in here. We can just drop that into that little basket there. And we're looking at Rose right now. So supports that you want to watch, 0.16588. And then I've got a nice 382 here. That looks okay. 0.158. So that looks okay. We'll keep your eyes on this trend. Okay, simple game plan here. Okay, if it starts drifting lower, okay, you know what to do. Buy on supports. If it blows the trend, you can add. Otherwise, if we lose this region, you're more than likely heading down to the next fib, to the next level. And it could be anywhere in this 158 region, and where you'd then be looking for your next potential bounce. Okay, guys, we've clocked it again. I don't know. It's this bull market. It's just bringing me, like, I just can't stop looking at all these charts. You know, at one point I was doing 35-minute shows, and here we are smashing 1 hour at a time. I mean, we've just clocked another 50 minutes for you guys. Good luck with these levels. Let's see where these AI tokens play out. You know the targets now for the price discovery. Injective, you know what to do. Tower, you know what to do. Relio, well, that one could be an absolute banger. I've heard a lot of good things from Chaos and Rodolfo, our researcher, that studies some of these tokens. So things are looking good out there. Watch Sol versus ETH strength. Loving Solana at the moment. Hopefully we get continuation. Tomorrow's Friday. DGen stuff. If anything's important happening, I'll obviously cover Sol, Phantom, and some of the basics for you. But really, you don't want to miss tomorrow. Gustavo, the DGen, is coming. I've got 2 big names from Twitter joining us as well. There's going to be 3 or 4 of us on the stream talking absolute DGen shit. It's going to be very impressive. It's going to be fun. And we'll catch you guys then. Later.